Bacon. Not every country eats it, but in the ones that do, people love it.
Burger.
Bacon.
Burger.
And it's got a flavor that livens up almost any dish. The saltiness of the bacon with the sourness of the soup is such a good combination. So today we are looking at 5 bacon dishes from 5 different countries to see how far our love for bacon around the world really goes.
Hi there. My name is Janou. My family is from the Netherlands, but I was born and raised in New York City. The dish that I want to talk about is called Appel en Spek Pannenkoek, which translates to apple and bacon pancake, and it is a very popular dish in the Netherlands. An Appel en Spek Pannenkoek is basically a big pancake that has apple and bacon in it. It is kind of similar to a crepe. It's a very thin pancake, but instead of being stuffed with ingredients, you actually cook the apple and bacon in a pan and pour batter over it so everything gets cooked together. I personally prefer a thick cut bacon and prefer eating it kind of chewy with a crunchy edge, but the bacon that you would use for this dish is just regular bacon that you would buy in a grocery store. Once it's served, you slather it with butter, powdered sugar, and syrup. I personally prefer maple syrup, even though it's not traditional. In the Netherlands, they just use sugar syrup. Whatever you have at home is fine.
Dang,
Oh, so close.
that was really close. That was close to one full peel. Didn't make it.
People will either roll it up into a long roll and cut it into pieces, or they will just kind of eat it flat as a big pancake. Pancakes are really popular in the Netherlands. I personally would go to the Netherlands every year growing up, and there was always a list of foods that I had to hit every time I went, and pancakes and poffertjes definitely made the list. And I have so many good memories of eating at pancake houses. My favorite one is in a park called the Amsterdamse Bos, and there's a goat farm. You get to go hang out with goats, and then you can go eat at the pancake house next door.
Making pancakes, making bacon pancakes. You take some bacon and you put it on your pancake. I've never actually been able to make bacon pancakes, but I've wanted to sing that song for a while. Okay, looks pretty good.
It's just the most dreamy experience for kids, and I have so many good memories of just running around there with all my cousins and grandparents.
Why does the first pancake never look good? You always think that the pan's hot enough, but it never looks good. Second pancake usually looks good though, so I'm just gonna look at the footage of the second pancake.
And it's just a really sweet, fun thing to do. One thing to note is that in the Netherlands, pancakes are not eaten for breakfast.
That one looks good.
So my Dutch family would, as a kid, always make fun of me for eating pancakes for breakfast, but in the Netherlands, you eat them for lunch or dinner, which also feels really naughty and fun as a kid. It's like eating ice cream for breakfast. I think people should try this dish because it is delicious. It's such a good combination of sweet and savory and fatty and crunchy, and it's just really, really good. I have never heard anybody say that they do not enjoy an Appel en Spek Pannenkoek. It's also really accessible and easy to make at home, so if you want to try something from Dutch cuisine, this is a super accessible thing to make. I hope you enjoy.
Bacon and apple pancakes. This looks so good, and the butter's all melted. It looks like a stock photo of melted butter to me. Okay, let's dig in. That's utterly delicious. The bacon and the apple go so well together. The pancake is thin and has like a little bit of bounce to it. This was so easy to make. The only thing about making crepe batter is you have to let it sit for a little bit, at least 15 minutes in the fridge. I don't know why. Why? Leia says it makes the flour hydrate. I trust her. She knows more about baking than me. Just gonna go in for bite number 2 here. I think my favorite part ultimately about this was when I got to sing the bacon pancake song from Adventure Time, because it finally had a place that made sense. finally.
Baking pancakes, making bacon pancakes.
You take some bacon and you put it on your pancake.
Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make. Bacon pancake.
As far as a bacon dish goes, this is a great bacon dish. It's not too heavy on the bacon and it's surprising, which is something I always love. And it's delicious. Before we get to the next dish, I'd like to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring today's episode. BetterHelp is on a mission to make starting therapy easier. It's a platform where therapists and clients can communicate effectively to get the most out of therapy. I myself have used BetterHelp and I loved the experience where I signed up, I filled out a questionnaire talking about what I was looking for out of a therapist, and they matched me with a therapist who was great for my needs. I did have to switch a couple times to find the person who I connected with, but BetterHelp makes that really easy, so anybody can switch as many times as they need before they find the therapist who's right for them. BetterHelp makes sure that all of the therapists on their platform are well qualified, and if you have any issues, they have a customer service team ready to help. And for me, one of the things that I appreciated about BetterHelp is its cost effectiveness. Therapy can be really expensive and create a barrier to entry that a lot of people can't overcome. But I think that BetterHelp offers an affordable option if it's something that you do want to pursue. If you think that therapy is something that you could benefit from, go to betterhelp.com/Beryl and that will give you 10% off your first month.
Hey Beryl, I'm Mina and I'm from Berlin, Germany. I would say go ahead and make some rice paper bacon. There are many different ways on how to make rice paper bacon, but this is how I like to do it. It's super simple. It requires just like a handful of ingredients, maybe 5, and provided you've got some good barbecue sauce, it actually tastes quite authentic, I would say. When I made this for the first time, I was definitely surprised by, first of all, how realistic it looks, how realistic just the texture is, and just also by how yummy it is.
I love how rice paper has so many uses outside of just spring rolls, and I think this one is gonna be pretty good, I think. Like, will it taste like bacon? I don't know, but it's gonna be cool.
It's so good. It's crunchy, savory. To me, it tastes like bacon, but like bacon minus all the greasiness. So just like a light version of bacon. I would say anybody who enjoys this sort of smoky barbecue type flavor is gonna like this recipe.
Okay, this is like really sticking together. Maybe I need to cut it first and then dip it. I don't know. Why is this hard? Okay, I watched Mina's video again. Take 2, I'm gonna cut it with a knife.
I've given this to some quite skeptical family members before, and they all really enjoyed it. You should definitely try this. You can put this stuff on anything. You can put this in a salad, which I've done before. And if you happen to be wanting to eat less meat, then I feel like this could be a good thing to add to your diet, you know, giving your meals still that meaty flavor.
They're all messed up and touching. This is hard. Okay, come on. Rice paper, stop being so difficult. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it. It is what it is.
Vegan food still gets a bad rep sometimes, sadly, but I feel like it's a lot better than it was a couple years ago. And I agree, vegan food can be boring.
I mean, I think it kind of looks like bacon, right? The color and the squiggles.
But it can also be so good, and it can open up your mind in new ways. And you know, there's so many more amazing benefits to eating more plant-based than it just tasting good, you know, for the planet and all that. So yeah, I think it's an overall a cool thing to do.
A little breakfast plate, because I feel like having vegan bacon with pancakes and berries, it'll be nice. And I'm glad that we got vegan bacon in this episode. I don't know how many vegans clicked in to watch this episode, but we got it. Ooh, it's crispy. Okay, bacon with some pancake. Pancake's good. Let's try the bacon. It's got a really smoky flavor. Does it taste like bacon? No, it definitely does not taste like bacon, but I like that it's crispy, and the sauce that went on top of it definitely has transformed rice paper into something totally different. I think a lot that vegetarians and vegans are not necessarily looking for things to taste like meat, but they're just looking for alternatives to meat items. So The fact that this doesn't taste like bacon for me doesn't mean that it's failed. I like it. Because it's rice paper, there's a little bit of chewiness on the end, so it's like in my teeth a little bit, but it's crispy, which is cool. I didn't know rice paper could do this. Breakfast is good food. I love breakfast food. Although, I've said this before, anything can be breakfast food if you eat it for breakfast, but like pancakes and bacon, that's also very much breakfast food. If you're looking ever for a meat alternative, I would recommend trying this rice paper bacon because it's easy to do and it has a really nice flavor. It's a fun way to use barbecue sauce and a fun way to use up rice paper that you might have left over from spring rolls in your house. Did you all know that I have a new show on PBS Food? It's about two people swapping recipes from their culture to learn a little bit more about one another.
Today is the day I'm going for it. Woo! These look crispy.
I'm a part of it. We had a whole lot of fun.
I'm in the filming now.
Yeah, we're filming you. Using a lot of you subscribers. I honestly think this is some of the best hummus I've ever had. I hope that you check it out. The link is in the description.
Hi Beryl, I'm Oliwia and I come from Katowice, a major city in Upper Silesia region in Poland. The dish containing bacon I wanted to share with you is Żur Żyniaty. It's a festive variation of a soup called żur with the addition of smoked bacon and sausage. The word Żyniaty in the Silesian dialect means married, and I guess it's because the wives would put like the good bits like bacon into the generally very humble soup. The word żur, on the other hand, comes from the German word sour, and that's because its base is made of rye flour fermented in water. Visually it might not be very appealing because it's like palish greyish, but the addition of bacon and hard-boiled eggs helps with the visuals a lot. And once you have tasted it, you can't help salivating when you smell it cooking, really. And I know you like a sour food, Beryl, so I think it will be right up your alley. It's sour, savory, umami, meaty, a bit salty from the bacon and the sausage, sweet from the onions. It's heavenly.
God, that feels like probably enough bacon, doesn't
That's
it?
quite a lot.
Yeah, all right, I'll save this other half.
And I think its charm lies in the simple ingredients, which create a surprisingly complex taste. And nice bacon makes the soup releasing. The soup is very common in Silesia, but the recipe varies from family to family, from household to household. So my mom's version is super thick, so it can hold like a spoon standing in the pot. I prefer mine much more liquid, and additionally my husband asks for extra bacon in his portion. The fermented soup base can be bought in generally all the supermarkets, also in bakeries, or from elderly ladies who often sell it on the local markets. You can also ferment your own. I make mine with leftover bread.
I feel like the soup is gonna be really up my alley because I love sausages and sour soup base. I love sour, so that'll be good, and also bacon. So I have high hopes. Got high hopes.
Although żur has been with me since childhood, my personal journey with making żur began quite surprisingly when I started making my own sausages and charcuterie at home. One time before Easter I thought, okay, why not make my own żur? I have the sausage, I have the bacon, let's try to ferment the base. And it worked. Now I make a big batch once a year, and after it's strained through a sieve, it keeps really well in the fridge. One year, my dad, who is possibly the most picky creature in the world, called me 5 weeks before Easter to ask if I remembered to start fermenting the base to make sure we have Żur Żyniaty for Easter. And I'm quite proud of it. Historically, in Silesia, most men used to work in mines and steelworks, and this soup helped to sustain them. We even have a saying here, z żuru chłop jak z muru. So in loose translation, it's from eating żur, a guy gets as tough and strong as a brick wall. This soup is especially enjoyable on cold, murky days of early spring or autumn, as it seems to give you both a kick and a hug. So enjoy. Thanks. Bye.
This is so my kind of dish. I am really excited to dig in. Yes, oh my gosh. It's got a sour taste to it. That is so good. Give me one of these pieces of sausage. White sausage is good. Now I need bacon. I need all of the elements. The saltiness of the bacon with the sourness of the soup is such a good combination. I poured such a big bowl of soup. I can't do what I wanted to do, which was like such a good combination. Oh, the bowl is so hot. I've never had a sour-based soup before. I bought the packets on Amazon and I'll leave a link in the description if you want to try it at home. The soup was so easy to make. My sausages were also pre-cooked, so that cut down on a lot of cooking time. Mostly, I just had to make bacon and saute some onions. Yum, the onions are so good. Cooking onions in bacon fat, it's next level. It tastes so nice. I think I'll like this soup. Sour soup base, sausages, bacon.
There's no way you're not gonna like it.
Yeah. This is a perfect dish for the fall or the winter. It is cozy and filling. And if you serve this with mashed potatoes, like Oliwia said, that would be so delicious. Just so delicious. I would even put the mashed potatoes like in it with the soup, like combine the bite. I cooked my bacon to be crunchy, and even though it went in the soup and boiled in the soup for a bit, it's still crunchy, which I really like. Soft bacon is not really my favorite kind of way to eat bacon. I'm curious for you guys, what is your favorite way to eat bacon? Crispier or softer? I know with Canadian bacon, you were supposed to eat it softer, but if I made it, I would still crisp it up. Just who I am. All right, one more bite of sausage and then we'll wrap up. Oh, it was so hot. I was trying to be cool, but oh, my tongue got burned. Make this soup, it's so good.
Hello, Beryl. Hi, everyone. My name is Marcia. I'm from Connecticut on the east coast of the United States, and we're talking about bacon today. One of my favorite sandwiches of all time is the BLT, bacon, lettuce, and tomato on toast with lots of mayonnaise. And I don't remember where the notion came from, but one day I thought, I like the sandwich so much. Why wouldn't I love it as a salad? I would. I do. So I've been making it ever since, over 40 years.
The trick for this salad dressing is not too much vinegar. Just start and go little by little, and don't be like me. Now I have a vinegar dressing.
I made it for myself as a single person and shared it with friends. And when I got married, made it for my husband, and it's one of his favorites now as well. Nobody doesn't like it. There are occasionally small altercations over who gets the last piece of tomato or perhaps the last crouton, but all in all, it's pretty friendly.
These croutons are leftover pieces of bread from a toast episode, and I cut them up and put them in my freezer like months ago, and I kept saying, I'm gonna make croutons one day. Never had the opportunity, but now I do have to make croutons. The next thing are the really old bananas that have been sitting in my freezer, because one day I'm gonna make banana bread. One day, not today.
I would urge you not to overdo the bacon, if there is such a thing as overdoing bacon, and not to use thick cut bacon. It just seems a little heavy for the salad to me, but again, that's your choice. Also, if you do not eat pork products, turkey bacon is pretty tasty. Not quite the same, but at least you won't have to miss out on the salad. I have learned to make the dressing, which is mayonnaise based, when I lived in Virginia for many years. Americans who live in the South love their mayonnaise, and I'm very grateful to have learned that recipe. One personal adjustment, and that is, it's not a salad to me without onions. So even though that's not on the original BLT sandwich, it is in my salad. I use sweet onion or red onion, and it's really delicious. Very simple to make, very easy, very quick. I think you'll love it. I hope you will try it. I wish you bon appetit.
I wanted to include a BLT in this episode, but I also thought maybe that was too basic. So when Marcia submitted the BLT salad, I thought, now that's pretty fun. It kind of looks like an Applebee's salad. If you don't know what Applebee's is, it's like a chain restaurant here in America, but it looks like one because it's so colorful and robust. Ooh, the dressing turned out really good. I put way too much vinegar in when I started that out. First I put like a capful and then I was like, let me just dump in a 1/4 cup of vinegar. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh God, was that too much vinegar? But the dressing's good. I just had to add more mayonnaise. Homemade crouton. That stale bread finally went to good use. This salad is a crowd pleaser. There's no way you wouldn't like it. Marcia said not to overdo it on the bacon. I personally don't think that I overdid it on the bacon, but when it comes to cooking bacon, it is definitely to each their own of how much is enough. Sometimes I like to make an extra piece while I'm cooking to just have road bacon. The salad is hitting the spot. Deconstructed foods, I always think about really fancy restaurants where you get something and you're like, this is like, what am I eating? But as a deconstructed BLT, I think it totally works, and it's fun and it's different, and it's a salad, so it's really easy to make. The bacons are crunchy, the croutons are crunchy, the dressing is creamy. I mean, what's not to like about a salad that's got all the textures? And bacon.
Hi Beryl! My name is Bettina and I live in Bern, Switzerland. The dish I would like to talk about is called party filet. It is pork filet, seasoned and wrapped in bacon and then baked in the oven. Before serving, you add some whipped cream with a little bit ketchup and a little bit cognac.
I have a gripe with the packaging of certain things, bacon being one of them. Like, you're never usually gonna eat all the bacon, and they put it in these things that are so not resealable. And at the same thing, like flour, when you open flour out of those paper bags, it gets literally everywhere. Who decided how the packaging was gonna be for these things? Because it annoys me. The bacon one most of all. I'm gonna have to like duct tape this shut.
And this gives a frothy, creamy sauce that is like wellness for the palate. It goes perfectly with the bacon and the filet. We use breakfast bacon in thin slices and pork filet that is cut in 12 medallions. You can eat it with noodles or with rice. And I think almost everyone in Switzerland knows this dish. When I was a child, my mother did this dish when we had guests or on Christmas. And I still do it when we have guests or on holidays. And for me, the dish smells like family or friends and is very satisfying. After surgery from cancer, my mother stopped eating meat. She then started to dice some tomatoes and garlic and did it in the casserole before the meat. So she at least could eat some tomatoes. And I do it this way until now.
I realized a little late in the game that half and half will not make whipped cream. And we're about to make some savory whipped cream. So I had to go out and get heavy whipping cream. So the top-down shot that we started with, I wrote whipped cream even though you saw half and half. I'm learning. Whoopsies.
Because I think the slightly acidity of the tomatoes and the sweetness of the whipped cream and the ketchup are perfect together. Bacon is often used in Switzerland, whether as bacon cubes, as crispy bacon, or even as raw bacon. Personally, I prefer the crispy bacon.
I'm not gonna taste this until we're on camera, even though I'm so curious what this tastes like. I'm gonna wait. Could just dip my finger in, but I won't.
But in this dish, the chewy bacon is perfect. You should try this dish because it's easy to prepare, easy to cook, and it smells delicious. Enjoy your meal, or as we say, a gute miteinander.
Sometimes I do dishes on this channel that really push me outside of my comfort zone, and I feel like a pork fillet with a whipped cognac cream is one of those. But I'm intrigued, and I haven't tasted the whipped cream yet. That's interesting. The taste of the cognac definitely comes through. It's an interesting balance with the whipped cream because there's no sugar in the whipped cream, so it's not sweet per se, but it's also still whipped cream. Pork wrapped in pork, that's bold. I can't tell if I like it or not. I feel like a part of me doesn't love it. There's a part of me that's like, oh, it's too strange. But then there's another part of me that's kind of like, yeah, it's different, but it's like kind of fun. Things wrapped in bacon is pretty common. Having a pork loin wrapped in bacon, I've never had before, but the saltiness of it is nice. This is really just about the whipped cream. That is what's throwing me off. You learn something new on this channel all the time. Never in a million years would I have thought that you would put whipped cream with pork, and here we are, understanding that Switzerland does, and that's okay. It might not be for everybody, but it's for somebody. It's definitely a bacon dish, but it's also a whipped cream dish. Yeah. I hope you liked this episode all about bacon. I'm leaving all the recipes in the description. Until next week, I'm leaving you with an eggs around the world episode and Polish delivery, since we had a Polish dish in this episode. I will see you all next week.